Good evening, everybody. MysterySchooler here. Got another presentation for you. An interesting one here. The land of the big feet, the Patagonia giants. Now, if you haven't heard any of these before, I'd highly recommend a channel called Flat Water. He does a presentation on it, a really good presentation. Some of these screenshots are taken from his presentation. So definitely check out Flat Water. Screen pulled up here. How's everyone today? Beautiful day here in Sin City. There we go. Land of the big feet. More information than I thought there'd be for this one. Again, Flat Water did a really great presentation. Go check out his channel. But yeah, I'm finding with a lot of these mythological creatures or humanoids, whatever you want to call them, they're all over the place. There's documentation all over the place. Eyewitnesses. Don't forget, guys, it's a bigger deal than we make out. In modern day, whatever, but back in the day, you got lots of documentation about something. It more than likely happened. The first mention of this race surfaced in the 1520s from the account of Antonio BIGFEET, chronicler of Ferdinand Magellan's expedition. So this is Magellan, guys, on his way to discovering the strait. One day, without anyone expecting it, we saw a giant who was on the shore near today's Puerto San Julian, Argentina, quite naked, and who danced, leaped, and sang. And while he sang, he threw sand and dust on his head. Our captain, Magellan, sent one of his men toward him, charging him to leap and sing like the other in order to reassure him and to show him friendship, which he did. Immediately the man of the ship, dancing, led this giant to a small island where the captain awaited him. And when he was before us, he began to marvel and to be afraid, and he raised one finger upward, believing that we came from heaven. And he was so tall that the tallest of us only came up to his waist. The captain named the people of this sort Patagonia. The etymology of the word is unclear, but Patagonia came to mean land of the big feet. Dun dun dun. The land of the big feet. Magellan seized two of the younger males as hostages to bring back to Spain, but they got sick and died on the journey. Magellan's probably Freemason or something, probably some cabin boys go back with them. But sir, there's plenty of women. No. We'll take these two. Oh, and they died on the way back. Yeah, what do you guys think of this? This kid's the children are up to a full-grown man's waist. What the heck? It's consistent. Wow. This king is a king or something. They have these weapons. Imagine this dude swinging that thing, huh? Bunch of these guys were all. They seem friendly enough. 100 years later, in The World Encompassed, the first detail the author, Drake's nephew of the same name, wrote, they generally differ from the common sort of man, also in the hideousness of their voice, as they were reported. There being some Englishmen, as an adventure, the Spaniards did not think that ever any Englishman would come thither to reprove them, and thereupon might presume the more boldly to lie. The name Patagonis, 5 cubits, v. 7 foot and half, describing the full height, if not somewhat more. So they're 7.5 to 8 feet, which is still pretty big, but yeah. And who knows? I mean, maybe, there's hybrids probably too. So that would make sense. Full height. But this is certain the Spanish cruelties there used, referring to Magellan's hostage taking, have made them more monstrous in mind and manners than they are in body, and more inhospitable to deal with any strangers that shall come thereafter. He reduced the height of the Patagonians from 10 feet to 7.5 feet, but was obviously more intent on discrediting the Spanish and blaming them for the monstrosity of the giants. Ironically, though, he was really confirming the basic facts, meaning that when he was saying 7.5 and taller, that's consistent with what Magellan and them were saying. It's just that they started higher, but yeah, they said 7.5 feet and higher. It's the same thing. It's the same account. On the picture on the right here, again, I got this on Flat Waters channel. Definitely check him out. The picture on the right in the middle, it says, gigantes as large as 10 feet have been seen here. Paraphrasing here, guys, but there's 10-foot giants here. Wow. I mean, people say it's all mythology, and I can't think of a culture that doesn't have, or whatever, that doesn't have a giant origin story or some kind of giants running around all over the place. I mean, it's just, you can't get away from it. Like, what is this? What is this? The guys all the way on the right don't look as tall as the guys just next to them. They look like, like 10 feet-ish. They look tall. There's a 7 above their head, but they look taller than a foot taller. There's a 6 above the people next to them's head. I'm guessing that's feet. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Okay. So there's different nationalities on the bottom. Yeah, see on the bottom right, I can see Patagonian. They're on the far right there. Look. Myth my butt. Magellan had them on his ship and stuff. People are like, they don't exist. It's like, bro, they're on this ship. They took him as part of the crew. They took women back and everything. Magellan took a cabin boy. It was horrible, man. Every time people look, there's these things. There's Dogman. If you guys haven't checked out my video on Dogman, definitely check it out because it's consistent with this. The orders the king were giving Magellan to look out for giants and cynocephaly. It's like, what the hell? Anything else? There they are, guys, and They're telling us here on the right, this is an English sailor. Now, let's just let's just let's just examine this for a second. Okay, this is an English sailor. All right, cool. So he's wearing his traditional English navy attire of a skirt, a dress down to his ankles. Looks like, yep, he's has his he's got like satin shoes. Like look at this. This is an English Navy officer, sailor. What is this? Looks like I don't know, Middle Eastern. This looks, and you see this with lots of images claim to be from this time period, where it's like, is this older? Is this really an English sailor? I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways, I would say if this guy was tall, right? If this is a tall guy at 6 foot, let's just say, no, he's probably not, right? He's probably what, five something. So yeah, like 10 feet tall. Assuming the artist seems somewhat confident here. Uh, Everything else seems proportionate in the picture. That it's not like this person has a problem making proportions. And yeah, that looks like 10 feet and 3 times wider than this dude. I mean, Chris Walpole, the English historian and Gothic novelist, published an account of the giants lately discovered. In a letter to a friend in the country following the return in 1766 of Captain John Byron, who had circumnavigated the world in the ancient 9-foot giants in South America, in his 31-page pamphlet, Walpole could be imported for the sake of mending our breed. Oh, bro, come. He sees this chick, he's like, oh yeah, what the heck, dude? Really? I'm pretty sure that's where we're going with this. Some frisky sailor riding a leg. Well, the Dolphin, 1768. This is a 1768 English sailor's outfit. So he's in the Navy, I'm assuming, or whatever, right? He's dead Navy path that conquer like the whole world. So yeah, this is an English Navy man's uniform in 1768 on a super important